US Sicko is a movie where this guy who's like the worst person you can think of thinks at you and tells you all his wicked thoughts and deeds. The main character is Patty Batman, who's allegedly a young man, and he goes around hoeing everyone he sees. The first scene in the movie is him describing his life, so you know he's eating better than you. We see him talking to guys at work about what he thinks should be done around the world, as if anyone cares. And judging by the title of the movie, we can be pretty sure it's cap. At his job that he was given, because of his sperm donor maybe, there's this assistant woman that wants his meat I think, but nothing comes of it in this scene, so it's whatever. He's like some guy who's high up in the company, and I think they sell stocks or something. So basically, he's just ripping off that one guy from The Pursuit of Happiness. Anyway, he has a wife that he hates, so he cheats on her, and does the most in general. Then one day at a business meeting, he sees some guy who has enough clout to have a business card, and this sets off alarm bells in his mind, so now he has to catch a body for some reason. His first crime of the film is killing a rando in the streets who was homeless, and of course they had to make him a Negro, because like just of course they did. Like it's to show off that Batman wasn't really feeling all that stuff he was saying earlier in the movie, like yeah nigga I get it. Anyway, now that pack has been smoked, Batman moves on to his next. He has a meeting with the one guy that got him ass mad because he has a business card, but the thing is, he's also pretending to not be Batman at the same time, and the guy trying to murk is like talking shit about him. It's not even like Batman's doing a good job hiding who he is, like he already let his identity slip for a second. But what I want to know is, how does victim number 2 know Batman, because he knows his girlfriend, and he also works with him, but he's not able to figure out who's right in front of him? Like I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like cap to me. So after this scene, Batman takes his victim back to his apartment, where he starts talking about stuff that nobody cares about, and puts him on a shirt. Then he puts the pack in the trunk while niggas are watching, and they don't do anything about it, because that's the world we live in. So to cover it up, Batman goes to the victim's apartment, raising his feelings over the fact that the guy he murked was living better than him, and packs his bags, fakes a voice message that says he's going to London, so that he can act like he got wet up over there. The next day, the Green Goblin shows up asking too many questions, because he's 12, and is making Batman a little uneasy, as if he didn't invite these problems for himself. Later on in the night, he picks up a woman that's trying to give it up, but it turns out there's already a woman in the crib, so he makes them do some R-rated stuff and film it, cause you know he's a weirdo. But for some reason, he lets them go on to breathe another day by the end of it. Then the next day or something, Batman is having a meeting with some work associates, where he continues to ruin the mood with his nonsense. But then it turns out that one guy that was dating his girlfriend's best friend, you know the best friend he's piping, yeah her boyfriend, he has a business card, so you know what that means. It's time for another missing persons report. But when he goes to smoke a new blunt, the guy thinks he's coming on to him, so Batman has to leave before things get too out of hand. Later on, Batman has yet another talk with the Green Goblin, and also the Goblin brings up the same album that Batman was yapping about when he murked that one guy, so you know something spooky is afoot. Then Batman goes to a club where he's trying to do jokes with his friend like a normal person, but some peon that stands behind them keeps making too much of a fuss. So when his associate tries to catch a fade over it, Batman has to resolve tensions like the peacemaker he is. Batman also meets a model at the club, murks her at his crib, and then the next day takes his assistant back to the crib where he almost murks her too, but then tells her to go cause she might get hurt. Get it? Cause like she thinks he's talking about breaking her heart or something, but he's talking about actually detaching her mind from spirit, body from soul, like they would have to say a mass and put her body in a hole. That night, Batman has his talk with the Goblin and gets caught in a cap, cause he can't even get his story straight on where he was the night he smoked the coworker pack. But according to Detective Goblin, all leads point to the coworker just leaving by himself, but at the same time, he low-key presses Batman like he knows something. So later on, Batman gets that one street woman he got earlier to come back somehow, cause you know he has the funds. But this time, he goes to his coworker's victim's apartment and uses his name and has her engage in all these unhealthy activities with a different woman who seems to already know Batman and be used to it. But while they're all fucking around just having a gay old time, Batman starts to create a new pack with the new girl, which causes the one from the streets to start running around the crib, where she sees that other women have already been packed up, so then she runs out of the apartment, trying to get help from any and everybody that can hear her, and these fake ass neighbors do nothing about it. So when she tries running downstairs, Batman uses his impeccable MLG tier aim to throw a chainsaw at her that sends her to the next dimension. In the next scene, Batman breaks up with his girlfriend, cause you know that was still a thing, and she's in her feelings over it, but he's on his epsilon grind set, so he couldn't be bothered less. Then when he goes to an ATM, he tries to smoke a cat pack, but an older woman spots him, so he has to put her on her shirt. Then he starts murking some apartment gay man, Dodgers 12, and hides out in the building, where he tells his lawyer all about the bodies he caught. Then the next day, he goes to the apartment building of the coworker he murked, and the woman there is really not trying to see him, so he calls his assistant to get his drawings in order, which have all the stuff he'd be doing in real life, which he discovers. Then later at some dinner party, he has a meeting with the guys, and he sees his lawyer, who thought his confession was cap, but when he tries to reveal his crimes, the lawyer confirms that one coworker is actually still breathing and actually did go to London. So basically, this whole movie was cap and never happened, and now Batman has to live with not knowing what's real and what isn't. Overall, I would say it was a W movie.